Hi. How are you guys? I'm doing better than you are right now. I'm playing new sounds. I'm going to tease you guys with MegaMagic pads. It's not out yet. But I'm very, very proud of this library. You ready? Check this out. Let it grow. I mean, it's just so beautiful. All right, let me show you a couple more. So here's Cape Sirens. This is the Cape Siren Calling. So this has a very cool signature. And then Deserted is without the calling. So before we proceed, hello, welcome to a new video. Head bowed, hands together. My name is John Skippy Limkle. Glad you're with me. This is, as I said, a little teaser moment for a new library. Here's the work in progress artwork I'm doing for MegaMagic pads. Yes, it's funny. It's cute. Get it? She's sleeping on all these pads, you know. This amazing artist did this it's actually a composition of a whole bunch of different photos that she put together to make this. She was not actually doing this when this picture was taken. A very talented person I found on DeviantArt. Before we proceed, real quickly, please come to pluginguru.com to check out all the patches. There's Airwave, there's Kid Anthem, which is the first massive, huge library, $25 for all of these patches from an amateur programmer, which, by the way, on the Facebook page, check this out. He made this library, Kid Anthem, using just a computer keyboard and mouse and headphones. And this is a keyboard controller that was sent to him from one of my customers on the Facebook page. So I thought that was pretty awesome. So go to the Facebook page. We're talking about the new Justin Bieber's Diplo Skrillex hit that's gotten all big and stuff. There's a really cool video you can find where they talk about, I didn't even know some of the elements that I thought were flutes and so forth in the track are actually Bieber's voice. And Bieber looks like a fool in the video, in a way. These are expensive sounds? Really, really expensive sounds? I really wanted to go for that expensive sound. Whatever. But the guys making the track, Skrillex and Diplo, are very, very talented. And there's some really cool gleams of information in there. There's other information here, so please come and follow along with everybody else here on Facebook, if you're there. But anyway, we're taking a look at MegaMagic pads. One thing that you might notice right off the bat, if you've been looking at the screen, I'm playing these from multi-mode. Why am I playing them from multi-mode? Here's Interstellar. And so there's some that are dry. They're not dry. You hear a lot of ambience in there. But then this has completely soaked reverb on the whole thing. So the reason they are in multi-mode, this is the first library that I know of that it's, when they build the instruments in Omnisphere, when you go to the list and you go to the samples and you go here and you're selecting like the guitars and all the different sounds in the sound source browser area, right? There's lots of samples on different keys, some velocity switching, round robin, all these things are happening. As a third-party programmer, I have no access to any of the tools that made that. So if I want to use this like a traditional sampler, and in a traditional sampler, you can set a sample on this range of the keyboard and this another sample on the next range of the keyboard. So that way you can build something that uses more than one sample. The only way to do that, and it's a good way to do it, is using stack mode inside of a multi. So I am mapping 6 different samples. I sample E's. E's is what I decided would be the best note of octaves. So this first number 1, watch it flash, is playing that one sample. This is a library where it's now 6 samples across the keyboard, not 1. In most cases in MegaMagic Dreams, it's in the patch area. You don't even have to go to multi-mode to play them. And it's 1 sample across the entire keyboard. This is different. I wanted sounds where I had the power down low as well as the sweetness up high. And usually when you're working in with a single sample, you're giving up one or the other. You can't do it unless you create lots of samples to really give you the whole range. So I'll show you more of this in the future, but it's coming soon, but I hope that teaser gets you excited. So let's do the questions. So question number 1, it's from a good customer by name Thumb. I think I'm saying his name right. Some of the European names and stuff, I'm doing my best. If I don't say it right, I'm sorry. But he's moving forward best you can. Love Omnisphere 2, huge guru libraries. Need change of pace now and then. You have some awareness of what I have and do. Which add-on synth is least duplicated overlap with Omnisphere 2 and one that impresses you? HIVE, Serum, Diva, Zebra 2, or Selenth. So he's asking about these. He actually turned around, did more research, downloaded the demos, which I suggest to everybody to download the demos, listen to them. The personality of each synthesizer is different. And you can't tell that from my opinion. You need to sit and play the patches, and the one that's the one will speak to you. And for him, it was HIVE. So I want to, the first Plichka. Is HIVE. This is from Yuhi. Urs created, and his team created Zebra 2, Diva, which was also on the list that Thumb had. Diva is a really amazing synthesizer. It's painstakingly accurate analog type of recreation. It's got where and you can interchange the filter between different types of filters, oscillators between different types of oscillators. So you could take the Oberheim oscillator and put it with an ARP filter and stuff like that. Now it has an arpeggiator built into it. It's got a really great effects section. It's known for being a little CPU heavy because it's really doing a lot of complex DSP code to pull off the sound that it makes. So he wanted to make something that was economical and powerful and could kind of compete with the Serum and the Spire. Selenth was the original of all these guys. And so he created HIVE. And HIVE is really good. Let me give you just a sampling. And what does HIVE have going for it? It has 2 oscillator sections, which each have a sub-oscillator. They each have their own filter. You can actually link the filters so that they go together. There's nice ADSRs. Doesn't get much more complex on the envelopes. But then there's an ARP and a sequencer, some really great effects. The distortion has some very cool, very flexible presets. The chorus, the reverb's not bad. It's a good reverb. EQ's great, the compressor at the end. even a phaser in there. It's got all the kind of standard stuff. But each oscillator can do 16 voices a unison. So that right there is kind of different than Omnisphere, which can only do 8 voices of unison. So it's capable of making some kind of, I think, maybe a little bit more raw. It does have a different quality to it as you... I mean, HIVE, their team, their synthesizers have a really nice, unique sound to them. And I actually made some patches for the factory voicing that we weren't able to get to them in time to be put into the factory voicing. And so I'm going to make a library for this. So let me show you a couple of those patches that we made. Myself and Seth. Seth made some, I did. This is one of mine. Some cool basses. So it's got a really nice quality to it. Some strings. So a power pack will be coming probably before the end of the year for HIVE. I'll make a whole bunch more patches for it. Put this all together. Stink bugs. So HIVE's got a lot of potential. There's a whole bunch of patches it comes with. So download the demo, check it out. It's a very reasonable price for what it does. Oh, there's one really cool. I want to show, I think it's this one. One patch doing all this. And you can move the mod wheel. So you can see this is using the arpeggiator. Very well set up to do this. There's a lot here to play with. So check out HIVE. Highly, highly recommended. And there's others. I have a number of plishkas to share with you. So stay tuned. More of those coming in a future episode. Question number 2 was from a guy named Peter. And he said, I'm really enjoying your tutorials and personality. I was hoping you could help me solve a problem I cannot figure it out. Set up Omnisphere with 8 MIDI channels. Each Omnisphere VST with 8 channels. Thanks for showing me that. Now I want to put a different side chaining effect on each MIDI channel, which means he wants to use outboard effects. Unfortunately, I cannot do that because when I try to add effects to the specific channel, I can only add MIDI effects and not audio. Before I used to open Omnis in VST, I needed and was able to add audio effects to it, but my CPU did not like that. So he wants to set up Omnisphere so that it has 8 separate audio channels to put sidechaining effects and stuff on. So let's do this. Let's go to Airwave and let's call up something like one of these multis. There it is, Northern Exposure. Yeah. So this is 8 parts, right? Playing with one finger. It's pretty crazy. So we need to go to Omnisphere and instead of stereo, select multi-output right here. This is how you do it in Logic Pro. It's different than other sequencers. I suggest if you use another sequencer to search on YouTube for multi-output effect how to, and you should probably be able to find all sorts of options. Then you hit X to show up the mixer, and right here there's a little plus. You just click that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, 7 times, because the instrument itself will be number 1, I believe. So then you go to the multi-page, and right here's your output assignment right here, the bottom part of each one of these. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. So when I play one note, I can now solo on my mixer. So each of these can now go up here and have audio units, extra records, LFO tool. Doing the LFO tool sidechain thing, go sidechain. Yeah, it's doing it. So I can do this now effect-wise to each of these guys. Now, to carry on with this thought process a little bit, I want to point out one more thing on how to get multi-outputs working really effectively for automating. So the way you do it is this, real quick. You can go down here, go 1 through 7. There's a really cool option right here that says create tracks for selected channel strips. So boom, it now makes separate tracks. And now you can automate each of these guys' volumes. So there we go. So now you got these separate channels to play with. Okay? So you need to set up a multi-instrument instead of a stereo instrument. You need to then go over to the mixer by hitting X to show the mixer section, or selecting it from the window here and going down to where you see mixer right here, Command 2, which will also open it up as a floating window type of device. So I just like hitting X, it's right there. Then it goes away when you hit X again. And then hitting this little plus button to open up all 8. So you have instrument plus 7 auxiliaries. Then selecting all of these guys, going Option, Create Tracks for Selected Channel Strip, and that will create separate tracks up here, so you can now automate each one of them. And then load up a multi from Airwave. Okay, so that's that one. Question number 3, what was this? Oh, this was a question in regards to moving patches from one, he was taking a modified patch and then he was going to go use it on another computer, and he was having problems. And I just want to point out, when you're moving patches in Omnisphere, once you've moved it from one library folder to the library to the other folder, that could be to the Steam folder. So you'd go Steam, go Omnisphere, Settings, Patches. You could put it into a user, but you need to put it into one of the folders. It can't just be floating without being inside of one of the folders that Omnisphere recognizes. Just to be safe, maybe you can. I don't work for Spectrasonics, so that part I'm not totally certain on. But the key is this: to make sure that you go to the patch page and hit the little. This is the update the preferences file, the database button. You need to click that to update all the patches so that it makes a database. And the more libraries, I have all the plugin guru libraries in here loaded, so it's going to take it longer than if you have fewer. But do that, create your sequencer, load it back up, and everything should be there and working as expected. And I think that's all we're going to do for today. So I'm going to do more of these. So if you have a question, send it to support@pluginguru.com. And let me know questions you might have, and I'll pick some out maybe to do in another video in the future. And September 15th, MegaMagic pads will be coming your way. So thank you for watching. Have a great adventure with music, and hopefully I come along with you. All right. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks.